What's up, YouTube family? Tio here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight. Hoping to get Steve back this week so we can get some live fishing going on. I've been out of a boat for almost a month now, and it is driving me absolutely insane. But while I'm out of the boat, might as well keep doing these lake breakdowns. We're going out north of Fort Worth, all the way up by the Red River, to a little place called Lake Nocona. Really cool looking lake, small lake, only 1,360 acres. But according to some of my research, it says it's the fourth best bass fishing lake in Texas. Let's go break it down. Here we go. Just like we do on the rest of the videos, let's jump in here and let's go look at the Texas Park and Wildlife page and just kind of see what they have out here about this lake. Obviously, this is a lake I've never been to. I'm putting this one on my bucket list. If it's fourth best bass lake in Texas, I've got to go for sure. This one is just about 8 miles northeast of Nocona. Looks like it's off of Farm to Market 2634. As I mentioned before in the intro, it's about 1,300 acres, 1,362 acres, 80-foot maximum depth. Doesn't really look like the fluctuation says that it's moderate. We did find quite a bit of stuff in this. You'll see on the breakdown. You can see there is no contour map or any type of brush piles or anything like that, attractors in here, but there is some more information about bass fishing. It says really standing timber in the upper lake in Farmers Creek. Shoreline vegetation can be found in some areas, as well as boathouses. And then there's also some riprap along the dam that provides excellent habitat for the bass as well. So let's go ahead and switch over here. Let's go over to Google Earth and let's talk about what we found over there. Let's go ahead and jump into Google Earth, talk to you about what we found here, and then we'll switch over to iBoating and kind of show you the contours on what we were able to find from an offshore standpoint. But as far as the Google Earth points, a lot of good stuff going on here. You look over here to the left-hand side, you'll see Lake Nocona. We've got a lot of different ramps that have been marked here. We'll go through those. Those are where that parking symbol is. We also have rocks and debris. So you can see here, we've got different types of rock and debris that are all highlighted here. So I'll go through those with you guys. We also have tires that are in there. We've got ponds that are marked for you guys, as well as the creek channels, which that's something that's new, where we used to just do them with the waypoints. Now I actually have them in there as the tracks. So let's go ahead and jump into Lake Nocona here. And I'm going to walk you kind of back through. The best image that I could find was March of 2014. So I'm going to start here at the bottom, and I'm just going to work my way up to the top. So farthest south that I could go, pretty much you've got a major creek arm that's coming in through here. You've also got another creek arm coming back from here. And this goes basically all the way up into the lake, all the way up here. So it looks like maybe the lake drains out this way, or I'm not sure what's going on here. But anyways, you can see these different channels that are in here. And I didn't mark this channel because I wasn't really sure if this was really a channel or if that was more just something that maybe they dug out. Now, you might want to look in this area and see if you can find anything, because some of those might create some decent ledges for you. But anyways, this is your main channel, or your channels that are over in this area. Now, you've also got a little ditch that's right in here too. That was pretty significant. If I was able to move that, which I'm not sure how I can move that without deleting it. I don't want to delete it, but you can see if you look right around the edges of where that line is, there's a pretty good looking little ditch right in here. And you can see it as you follow the line. So just look in that area, see if they're relating to that anyhow, and maybe you'll be able to find some fish in that area. Now, as we move a little bit further up, the next thing we have up here, we've got a couple different things. There's this little point that comes off, and you can see right on the edge of it, it's definitely white, like it's got some kind of debris on it, as well as rock, but a lot of debris or something going out right off the edge of this. So I'm not sure what this is, if this is rock or just a high spot with some shell on it, or what is going on, but it's definitely something that you need to go over and you need to check out. That point up there might be worth looking at too, but it didn't have the top on it like this one did. This one looked like it had the rock and stuff like that around it, so might be a good place to look. Also down here, you've got a boat ramp that's kind of hidden down in here. Those are always good to fish around. You've heard me talk about boat ramps before. If you're struggling out there, these individual boat ramps that we mark, they can really be a great pattern to run a lot of times, a lot of different times during the year. So here we've got more boat ramps, got another boat ramp over here. As we move further over here to the east side, a couple different things that I was able to find here. I didn't find too much, but there is some debris down in here. You'll see right in here that this dock, whoever owns this dock, has put some tires out here. There's some larger rocks or maybe some possible wood. I can't really tell what it is, but there's definitely some debris right here in this area. So go check that out for sure. Now moving over here, you've got a little bit of what looks like may have been an old roadbed or a pond dam, but I couldn't really tell, so I didn't mark it. But I did find some stuff in here kind of in relation to this. You've got some debris right here, which looks like more like a laydown, but you got a couple right here in this area. You've also got an old pond dam that's right here. You guys have heard me talk about these pond dams. They can be really good. So check out the pond dam that's over here. You've also got another pond dam that's up here as well. All right, so I'm going to back out. We've got a ramp back here as well. A little bit of a creek channel going on here, but the problem is it didn't have really any depth change to it that I could tell. It looks like it just kind of washed it out. It just kind of changed the way it looks. I didn't mark anything there for you, but you may want to get back in here if you can. Get back in here and see what you can find in all these stick ups and stuff like that, and work around the edges of these weed lines. Find the edges and work around the edges of them. All right, so moving up here, some more debris over here by this dock. So you can see here, they got some tires out here or something like that. So I marked that for you. You got a little concrete slab that's out here all by itself. Mark that one for you as well. Again, guys, another good weed line, like right here. These are those stick ups. These things can be productive at different times of the year. Definitely come in here and check these out, especially when they're very defined like this. See how straight of a line that is? That's a really good weed line. All right, so now I'm going to keep moving up. Looks like I missed a boat ramp right there, but we got a boat ramp right there. And then moving up here, we've got some rocks that are right in here, right off this point, and some more rocks right off of this point. So kind of a little main lake points, I guess you could say, but they're not as obvious. They're not out here. This is really obvious main lake point right out here. All right, so then moving up here, another ramp that was kind of hidden in here. This point, it looks good because it's got the shallow top on it, but it looks like it just kind of gradually just goes off into the water. So, you definitely want to check main lake points like this, but just didn't mark it for you guys. There wasn't anything there from a debris or structure standpoint to make me want to mark it for you. There is some rock that's hidden back in here though, so check that out. And then I'm gonna scoot back so you can see where I'm at. About 3/4 of the way up the lake here. I'm gonna move a little bit further up here. We've got some additional rock that's right here around this point, and then some rock right here around these docks too. And you guys know me, I love crankbait fishing and I love shaky head fishing. So square bills, medium divers, hitting them around these rocks and then following that up with your shaky heads, that's probably going to produce you some pretty good bites. You also get it back in here, you got a pretty decent creek channel that goes along in here. So just kind of follow that. You've got some ramps back in here too you can check out. Then as you move further up here, there's some more tires or debris. I think this is a tire pile, I think. At least that's what it looks like. So a big pile of tires here. You crappie fishermen, you know the crappie are attracted to that. You bass fishermen, you've heard me say it before. If the crappie are there, the bass are nearby because that's a delicious treat for those bass. So also you've got a nice little creek channel coming through here. So I went ahead and mark that for you. And as we get further up here to the northern side, we've got a couple different ramps. This looks like a main boat ramp. Another ramp right in there. Off this point, you've got some debris. Some rock that's right in here. So you got some kind of hidden rock right there off that point. I like that. It's very isolated. You've also got some more rock that kind of goes along this bank line, starts right here and goes to about right there. So shallow rock for sure, but it's rock. You've also coming back in here, didn't see too much back in there, but you've got a ramp that's kind of out here in no man's land. So you know that one's going to be good. And it looks pretty steep here. It could just be the image, but this looks like a steeper point. So you've got some rock at the top of the point, and then when you drop down to the next level, you've got some rock out here as well. So that could be a really good point. Here you've got some good riprap and rock as well, some debris too, some laydowns, things like that. As we move further up here, this just looks like a concrete wall or something. And I can't tell if it's a concrete wall or if it's just where the water dropped really fast and left like a perfect line, which that might be what it is. So then moving over here, you've also got a lot of rock going along this bank line. But I didn't, all this was consistent. So what I did was I marked the spots where the rock was different. You guys have heard me talk about this a lot. You know, be on these lakes that have a ton of rock, and you'll see all these points that say rock, 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 rock. And you're like, duh, we know there's rock there, but I market it because it's different. So I'm always looking for something that's just different. If it's all the same in the same area, it's very hard to find them, but you can usually find that one unique thing, whether it be a bush that's outside of every other bush, right off the tip of the point. If it's a bigger rock amongst a bunch of little bitty rocks, it's all those types of things are really good magnets for fish. So here you've got some really good setups. You've got these transition areas to this different type of rock. I think this is just like riprap. You'll see one right there. You got one here as well, and one here. And then right off the tip, you've got something going on. I have no idea what this is, but something going on. Looks like it's definitely worth checking out, see if they're attracted to that. That definitely looks like a hard spot amongst some pretty much like dirt and sand. All right, then when you move over here, you've got a really good pond dam. Now I'm up in the upper northwestern side of the lake. Let me back out here to show you guys where I'm at, way up here. So when I get up here, there's a pretty good pond up here. I really like this pond dam. It looks really good. And if we look at it and I didn't even tell you guys, I'm out here looking at March 2014 if you're wanting to follow me. If I go back up to regular, you can't even tell this pond dam is here, but definitely check it out. It looks like you could do some damage to your prop coming back here too. But look at this pond dam, fish right in this area, right here and right here. And then you'll always want to fish that little opening wherever the pond dam kind of busts open and drains out. That's always a good area to look at too. All right, then moving down here, we've got another parking area with a boat ramp. You've got some rocks, some really good rocks on the edge of this boat ramp. They're not right on the edge of it. They're a little bit off of it. So check those out. You've also got some rock off the edge of this point. And then back here, you've got another pretty good pond dam going on. So right here would be a good area to fish around this whole little point right in here. And then, of course, this area in here as well. And sometimes they'll even get shad pushed in there. And if they can get shad pushed in there and block this opening off, that's heyday. That's money cove, you know, just what you dream of in the fall. And I'm not saying this cove is going to be it, but if you can find places like that where they can really trap them all in there and there's no way they can get out, sometimes those can be really great places. All right, so then moving on down here, just a couple ramps and things. You got a ramp here. You've got a creek channel coming back through here that I marked for you guys. You've also got another one back here. Now, the thing I like about this is you've got a pretty good ledge that's right here. Now, I don't know if they've dug this out or what, because it looks like the creek channel runs through here. But there's a really good ledge right where I put that track. So check out that ledge right there and just see if anything's relating to that. And if not, then make sure you're looking at these weed lines around this creek channel. So right in here, you know, all these areas in here, right where it gets really defined. If you can find those straight lines or those corners, those are going to be your hot spots. All right, so then moving up here, you've got different ramps, so 3-4 different ramps in here, a couple more over here. You do have some rock that's right over here, though, kind of hidden off this point. You notice it when you're coming up the bank line. You may notice it because the stick ups there, they kind of go away, and it gets a little white right in here, but it looks like you must have some rock that's out in this area. So look right here. There's definitely some rock where I put that mark. Check that out and see if that's going to be productive for you guys. Moving down here, you got another ramp. You got some debris that's out here too, like an old concrete slab or something like that, but check that out. You've also got another ramp that's right in there. You've got some more of these little rocky spots, but if you notice here, like where it's white, I was hoping that rock would go on out, but it doesn't. It kind of ends right there. You've got a ramp here as well. You've got some more rock here. Now, notice you've got rock up on this bank line, so you can definitely fish up here and, you know, bang the crankbait around and things like that. But this spot, for whatever reason, is kind of out on its own. You know, it's a little bit deeper than all the other rocks. It's got a little bit bigger rocks. And it's a little bit of an isolated pile. So definitely look at that area right there. Moving down, didn't see too much on these bank lines. Got some ramps to check out, just some docks and things like that. Obviously, you got a lot of stick ups you can flip around, things like that. You've also right here off this point, and notice I talked about earlier, right? We're looking for things that are different. Just a lot of nothing right in there, really, until you get to right here. And then all of a sudden, you've got these big boulders that are right here off the edge of this point. So I'm not sure if you can fish behind this. I hope you can. I don't see anything that says you can't. But if you can, definitely fishing right in this area could be a really good area to fish. Definitely a good transition area. Plus, you got some really good rocks there. And you're on a little bit of a point there as well. So you got a lot of good things going for you. Moving on down here, just some ramps and things like that to look at. And then we're back to that point where we started. So really that is everything from a Google Earth standpoint. Lots of good stuff to check out. You got creek channels, you got boat ramps, you got rocks, you got debris, got all kinds of good stuff to go after. Now let's go ahead and switch over and we'll finish this video. We're going to switch over to iBoating and we're going to look at the contours of this lake and just see if we can find anything out there that, that looks like it might be worth fishing. So let's switch over. Let's see what we can find. The first stop I always go when I'm trying to do a lake breakdown, especially when I'm looking for offshore hotspots, is to go out to my Navionics web app on my phone and start marking the points. The problem that I had with this lake is being that it's a smaller lake, it's not actually showing up on Navionics. So when that happens, I always go to my trustworthy iBoating GPS nautical maps and see if I can find them out there. And for sure, I was able to find them on this lake too, just like as always. So let's kind of go through this lake real quick, talk to you about some offshore stuff. Now, I do want to say I didn't put any offshore spots on the SD card. When they're out here on this map, I can't transfer them over, so it makes it really, really difficult. So we'll just have to kind of walk through. And when you go out there, just look at it. I'm thinking you're going to probably stay more closer towards inland anyways. I don't see too many offshore things here, but let's go ahead and start here. We talked about, down there at that creek channel, that's where we started. I don't see anything from an offshore standpoint here that really stands out to me, but let's keep scrolling up and see if we can find anything up in this area. Now we did mark that little point. I believe that's marked anyways on the Google Earth, but check that out. It's got a pretty significant little point there. And it looks like you got a little bit of depth going on there too. So maybe a creek channel swinging around there or something's causing something to happen with the contour there. So check that out in that area. Also, you'll want to look at these points. So obviously look at the points. I don't see any humps, any major points that come out with flat tops or anything like that that would really make me want to mark these as offshore spots. Right in here, maybe take a look at this point right here. See how it makes a really, really tight point right there on the edge. It's not really offshore, but you could look at it because it looks like it has a pretty quick drop right in here. So kind of right in that area, you might want to check that out. Moving up here, obviously you want to fish this main lake point, fish it on both sides, all that good stuff. Moving up here, you've got some pretty decent point right in here. See this point right here? How it's got really significant drops. Really significant. So check out this point right here. Just that one. That one could be a good one to fish off of. This one could be a good one as well. How it comes out has some pretty good drops. I really like those points that come out and have the flat tops, especially when it comes to fall, but I don't see a lot of those here on this lake. Got a decent little point right here. Another one right there. Nothing really out here. It all looks kind of just deep and not much going on. You got a little bit of a hump here, but it's, I guess, a pretty good size hump. You could go check that out, but that's 24 foot of water. And to be honest, guys, I don't like going too much deeper than 20, 25 feet. So that's kind of putting me at my max. And that's not a small hump. It looks like a very large hump. Now, what you could do is come up here. See where this little point comes out, underwater point comes out here, and it's got this big flat top. You could get up here and scan around this top in the fall. Just kind of do your boat like this where my little hand's moving back and forth. Scan around all this, scan around these tips, and then scan around the top. Especially when we get a little bit later in the fall here in a couple of weeks, you want to scan the top of this and see if they've got those shad pushed up on top of that flat. If they do, that could be a feeding frenzy and you could have a lot of fun there. So check that big point out there. Going back in here, not seeing too many things. Maybe right in here where this contour really gets tight, going from 10 to about 30 feet, you may have some kind of a ledge right in this area, right in here. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe. Over here by this ramp, we marked that. And then moving down here, I don't see too many offshore things really, guys. Got maybe a small ledge here, about an 8-foot ledge off the edge of this point right here, 22 to 30 feet. Again, you're hitting my max there as far as my depth I like to fish in. And then the last spot would be right here. So not too many things from an offshore standpoint to look at. I think this is going to be one of those lakes where really, if you want to get offshore spots, you probably just need to go out to the creek channels, scan around the creek channels, see what kind of debris and stuff you can find, and then go out to these main lake points and scan them very thoroughly and see what kind of brush piles and things like that you can find off the points. But anyways, guys, I hope this helps you. We got lots of good points out here for Lake Nocona. Definitely adding this one to my bucket list. If you have some lakes that you'd like for me to break down, definitely put them in the comments. I'll add them to the list. And until next time, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy, guys.